coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday. Now at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. Economic issues are my number one thing. Border issues are my number one thing. DEI issues are my number one thing. We had Don Trump Jr. yesterday, and we finish up with Laura Trump today. Laura, Wayne Allyn, how are you? We got a big guest and a great interview today with Dr. Oz with us right now.
Good to see you. I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to see you. Always great to have you on the show.
Wayne Allyn Root, happy to see you again on the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne, great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne, good to be with you.
Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
Doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks, Wayne. I don't see myself as a hero. I'm just trying to keep this community safe.
This is The War Zone, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. 2.5 million unique daily readers. Also on Rumble under Wayne Root, Wayne Allyn Root, or Warzone. Then on weekends, we got our big show, America's Top 10 Countdown on Real America's Voice TV. While everybody else is giving opinions, I give solutions. And some of them Trump takes, some of them he doesn't. I wish he'd take all of them. This is the Mainstream media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Mainstream media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face, mother trucker information. The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star, direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
Right, Wayne Allyn Root. The Root's on fire. Welcome back. Great weekend I had. I hope all of you had a great weekend too. Today is Monday. What is today? The 16th of August, I believe. No, 17th of August. Wow, it's even later than I thought. We're almost done with August.
Time flies.
No, it means we've got fall. Vegas is the greatest place in the world for 9 months a year, and it is absolute horrible June, July, and August, and it's over. 2 weeks and it's over. The heat is gone. September's beautiful in the morning and beautiful at night. I don't care about the middle of the day because I work about 14 hours a day, so I'm never outside anyway. I only care about mornings and nights, and the mornings and nights turn beautiful in September, so I can't wait. Wow, we made it through the summer. Thank God. So, President Trump, I wrote a commentary for President Trump, and here it is. I wrote it this morning. President Trump, here's the idea that wins the midterms, booms the economy, explodes real estate, destroys the Democrat Party forever, and allows millions of Americans to escape blue states. President Trump, you won the 2024 election with the promise of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. Those creative tax cuts then became the foundation of your big, beautiful bill, the crowning achievement of your second term as president. I am proud and honored to say I was the inventor, literally out of thin air, of two of the biggest parts of that multi-billion-dollar tax cut for middle-class Americans. Yes, no tax on overtime and no tax on Social Security were my creations, which I promoted nonstop for months on my TV and radio shows when not another person on earth had ever heard of these ideas. Then I sent these ideas to President Trump. He then adopted them. They became the centerpiece of his 2024 presidential campaign, and then were turned into the big, beautiful bill. Those two ideas were a big part of President Trump's re-election victory. Now I have another creative beauty for President Trump to campaign on, a 24-month capital gains tax holiday for the sale of any primary residence. It seems like everyone is already moving from blue states to red states. Certainly millions of Americans are either escaping from blue states like California, New York, and Illinois, or planning their escape or want to escape, but can't afford to move. This is one of the biggest migrations in U.S. history of both people and money. It's especially acute when it comes to money. All the big money's leaving blue states and going to red states. It seems like everyone wants out of high-tax, woke blue states, but in reality, everyone is only about 1% of the people. It's mostly wealthy Americans with assets, income, and businesses that can afford to move. Relocating your entire life is not an easy or inexpensive thing to do. The other 99% of Republican homeowners are trapped because of high interest rates and capital gains taxes, which will wipe out much of their profits from selling their homes. So most Americans are staying put, even though millions of Republican homeowners are trapped behind enemy lines in deep blue states and desperately want to escape. It's just too expensive to move. Don't we want to encourage them to relocate to red states? Can you imagine if everyone who wants to move could move? Blue states would empty out, red states would boom 10 times more than now, and they're booming now with both people and money. And the biggest bonus of all, the 2030 census results would be amazing for the GOP. It would be the biggest drop for blue states and the biggest gain for red states in history. America would be changed forever. Red states would gain many new seats in Congress and many more electoral votes and more federal funding, while blue states would lose seats in Congress, lose electoral votes, and lose federal funding. This would destroy the Democrat Party once and for all. Millions of Republican homeowners desperately want to move just in California alone. My creative idea would give them all an excuse, a shove, a powerful reason to make the move. So what is a capital gains tax holiday? Just as President Trump pushed and passed tax cuts based on tips and overtime and Social Security, he can now push and pass a 24-month tax holiday for capital gains taxes on the sale of anyone's primary residence. In other words, for the next 24 months, let's assume it passes during 2027 and takes effect in that tax year. So for the years 2027, 2028, and 2029, if you sell your primary residence, you pay no capital gains taxes. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Keep in mind, with Trump's new hand-picked Fed chief, Kevin Warsh, I'm betting interest rates will be dramatically lower by 2027 as well. So this is the perfect storm to explode real estate. Everyone who's ever thought about running away from woke, high-tax blue states to start a new life in low-tax or no-tax red states like Texas, Florida, my state of Nevada, Tennessee, will get a gigantic kick in the butt. Now is the time to make the move, or you'll be trapped forever behind enemy lines with insane taxes, crime-ridden streets, the illegal alien infestation, homeless tents, poop and pee in the streets, failing schools, masks and vaccine mandates, and transgender brainwashing. Here is everyone's once-in-a-lifetime one chance to get out. Here will be the results. Number one, the U.S. economy will boom. This will become a one-time economic boom of all time, which helps Republicans win the presidency in 2028. We'll be right in the middle of this boom. Think of the money this would generate for real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, title companies, and anyone who benefits from the sale of homes, movers, painters, furniture manufacturers, flooring companies, granite companies, marble companies, stone companies, carpet companies. Number three, yes, the federal government would lose capital gains income for 2 years, but think of all the consumer spending, sales taxes, and millions of jobs created by all of this economic activity. Number four, this idea will motivate millions of homeowners in blue states to put their homes up for sale, thereby creating, if I could turn the page, usually I'm pretty good at it, not this time. Wow, first time I've ever had a hard time. There we go. Thereby creating a plethora, am I pronouncing that right? A plethora of opportunity for young Americans looking to buy their first home. People are always complaining, there's no homes on the market. Not enough homes. Well, now there'll be a lot of homes. Number five, wealthy Republicans are already leaving blue states, but this helps middle-class Republicans who don't have the resources to move so easily. Now to the bonus of all time. President Trump should announce this now and campaign on this now. Campaign on a capital gains tax holiday for the midterms. This idea will create enthusiasm and motivate millions of Republican homeowners and business owners and young families who desperately want to buy a home to get out for the midterms and vote Republican. Just as the promise of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security motivated millions of Americans to vote Republican in the 2024 election. This is the new no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for the 2026 midterms. Not only do we win the midterms with President Trump campaigning on this idea, but we win again in 2028. And then after the 2030 census, with blue states hollowed out and red states exploding with new voters, will gain seats in Congress and electoral votes. The GOP then locks up control of America for decades to come. So please, Mr. President, announce this 24-month, or you could make it a 36-month, capital gains tax holiday for the sale of primary residences. And as Obama might say, we will fundamentally change America forever. P.S. Don't forget to throw in a national security for elections to stop Democrats from cheating and stealing the midterms. This is one hell of a powerful 1-2 punch. National security emergency for elections plus a capital gains tax holiday. So there we go. You know, it's funny because 99% of everyone always compliments me on my ideas and says Wayne is the best, boom, and Wayne's the greatest, and Wayne's the GOAT, and Wayne's got great ideas, and Wayne's so creative, and thank you, Wayne. But there's always one or two people that go, what a braggart. Look how he's bragging. First of all, I learned the way to be successful in life is to be a self-promoter. Who did I learn it from? Donald J. Trump. I've been practicing it for 40 years. Trump would tell you, if you don't brag about it, if you don't brag about yourself and your achievements and how great you are, your skills, your talents, nobody else ever will. If 20 people go for a job interview and one of them brags about how great they are and then backs it up, doesn't make it up, backs it up, he will get the job or she will get the job over the other 19 who are shy and humble. Humble doesn't work. Humble is a failure. If you never talk about how great you are, you will never be great. Okay? So that's number one. Number two is that the only reason I brag in this article is who would believe my ideas if I didn't prove I already had two of them that actually won the election for Trump and then were the biggest part of the big, beautiful bill that changed America. They just announced, what is it, $45 billion in tax refunds, higher than usual because the big, beautiful bill. Well, that's almost all attributed to my two ideas. I just made you all $45 billion. You're welcome. So I only brag because you wouldn't think this is credible unless I prove to you I've already done it before and it worked. What about my idea doesn't work? You would have said the same thing. First of all, the world's full of scumbags who hate everything that they didn't invent themselves. They put it all down. And second of all, the world's full of non-believers. So I'm sure at the time, everybody was against no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. What's this guy Wayne Root talking about? The only guy who wasn't against it is Donald J. Trump. He took it and ran with it and won the election and then made it the biggest part of his second term with the big, beautiful bill. So I'm just pointing out that I've already done it and Trump adopted my ideas and they worked and we won the election. It's really not bragging. It's setting the stage to show you credibility. So for those who don't get it, remember, I wrote the book. Is that book nearby, Patar? Sometimes you have it handy. The Trump Rules book. Where's the Trump Rules book? Is it there? There it is. No? It's behind me. Whoa, it's right there. Okay. Trump Rules. It's right there. Well, you can't even see it in the picture. In the picture I'm looking at, you don't see it, the end of it. But here, I'll grab it. I'll grab it out of here. There we go. Trump Rules. I wrote the book. All the rules that made Donald Trump famous, and probably the number one rule in this book, is bragging. You got to promote yourself. If you don't promote the great things you do, and again, bragging doesn't work if you didn't really achieve anything. It has to be real. But if you achieved it, then you got to talk about it. All right. Donald Trump taught me everything I know, so don't get mad at me. Get mad at Trump. All right. Hundreds of non-citizens in Michigan jury pools, dozens linked to voter rolls. No problem there. Just drive on by. Everything's fine. It's just unbelievable. The entire country's infested by illegals, and they've all got driver's licenses, and they're all voting. They're registered to vote, and they're voting because they got driver's licenses, and they're in the jury pools deciding who's guilty and who's not, and they're letting illegal alien criminals go free. Our country is so effed up at this point. You know, even with Donald Trump, it's completely effed up. And without Donald Trump, we'd be drowning. We'd be over. We'd be yesterday's news the way that England is over and it's yesterday's news. Thank God for Trump, but we're still drowning. But Trump's the lifeguard, and he's about 3 lengths away trying to save us. And we got a shot. Just a shot. If we don't elect a Republican midterm, we don't elect a Republican in 2028, we're probably dead. We drown. But for the moment, we're still very much alive, only because of Donald Trump. But But there's always some judge standing in the way. I mean, these judges even stand in the way of the ballroom, for God's sakes. And the Congress, the Senate, stands in the way of the easiest low fruit in the world, the Save America Act. The Senate stands in the way of daylight savings time that everybody wants. Everybody wants the Save America Act, and even more of them want daylight savings time, so you never have to change your clocks again. And then the judges go against everything Trump does. They stop the ballroom. And now the Supreme Court today ruled against Trump when it comes to that sexual harassment lawsuit where that woman won, I don't know, like $70 million, I think, E. Jean Carroll. She's like the ugliest woman in the world. She says Donald Trump banged her in the Bergdorf Goodman women's room. Yeah, the women's fitting room. 45 years ago, when she never mentioned it 45 years ago. If anyone believes this stuff, you're a moron. You're just you can just make it up out of thin air, a fantasy in your mind, sue Trump, and there'll be judges and juries in New York that will allow you to get millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. And now the Supreme Court threw out Trump's attempt to appeal it. You just can't believe what you're watching. All the judges have Trump derangement syndrome because they've got this nice little life, this nice little judge bullspit life. That's not the word I wanted to use, but it's just bull. One day you're a lousy loser lawyer. Everybody hates lawyers, right? What's the most famous joke? What do you call 25,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea? A good start. Everyone hates lawyers. But one day you become a judge. You put on a black robe, and now everyone's supposed to love you and respect you. Like there's a difference between a judge and a lawyer. There's no difference between lawyers and liars. The only difference is spelling. When it comes to judges, same thing. The only difference is a black robe, because you put on a little dress, a little black dress. Now you're supposed to be important. The lawyer they hated, they spit in your face because you're a lawyer. They laugh at you. Now you put a black robe on, everyone likes you. You know, black robe, like you're a Muslim. You're either a judge or a Muslim. And all these judges are so self-important, because the key to life is, if you make very little money and you have very little success, and you hate someone like Trump, who was super successful and was handsome and got the most beautiful women in the world in bed and married the most beautiful women. I mean, come on, he's had 3 gorgeous wives, has gorgeous children. You're just jealous. You're a schmuck. You're a nobody. So liberal judge nobodies with a black robe that look like Muslims, they sit around and they say, how can we stop everything Trump does? We're unelected. No one likes us. No one knows us. We're nobodies. Let's make believe we're more important than Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, the commander of the military, the CEO of the economy. And they do. And all their rulings stand in the way of making America great again. It's really disgusting. All right, let me read the live read to start the show, because this show is sponsored by Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. These are the guys that pay the bills, right? Without them, there is no show. So thank you for paying the bills, Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Thank you for believing in Wayne Root. Thank you for taking the risk now for, a year and a half. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, his companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value. At its peak, his company, Penteco Energy, grew about 100 to 1 for investors. Ultra Petroleum soared 1,000 to 1. A $10,000 investment turned into $13 million over 10 years. But Lost Soldier could be much bigger than Ultra Petroleum. CEO Mark Bruner believes it could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in a century, in 100+ years. It's a 40,000-acre territory in Wyoming that took 40 years to piece together. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far, estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas. Yes, I said trillion. Management forecasting projects just the first 25 wells to produce 400 million cubic feet per day of natural gas. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, go to lostsoldier.com, fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. I try to always stress past performance does not mean automatically future performance. There are no guarantees in life. But, man, if you can ride an idea with a guy who created $15 billion in shareholder value, with a President Trump who loves energy and oil, with a company that's, drilling for energy and oil, with a company that thinks they have the biggest find in 100 years in the United States of America, with a guy that made people $13 million off a $10,000 investment, I think it's probably a good idea to ride with him. Now, I'm not an investment advisor, and I don't give investment advice. I can only tell you what I think and what I do, but I've invested in this, the biggest investment of my life, tied for the biggest investment of my life. and I'm planning to make another investment this year. I invested last year, and I'm going to invest again this year because I believe in this project. I believe it's my retirement fund. LostSoldier.com. Check it out, LostSoldier.com. We'll be right back. Great guest coming up, Ben Berkwam from Real America's Voice TV. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn from my great friends John. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn from Vertical Research Advisory, VRA, Kip Herridge's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up! Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com. Hey, Wayne Allyn, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. All right, Wayne Allyn, the root is on fire. I told you what a great guest coming up, Ben Berkwam, and we've got him for you. He's the host of Law and Border on Real America's Voice TV, founder of FrontlineAmerica.com. He has a book coming out about his life, his personal story. It is called Step Into Fear, a journey from addiction to courage and purpose. He went from addiction to putting his life on the line every day, covering the illegal alien invasion. This guy is so brave, and I always talk about it every time he comes on. We appreciate him. Ben Berkwam, how are you, man?
Hey, Wayne. It's great to be with you. Great to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you. Where are you right now, by the way?
I'm in California, where I grew up in the Sierra Nevada mountains before the state went to hell. So it's we come back and visit a couple times a year, but we moved back to America a few years ago.
Yeah, California. I call it the Socialist Republic of Calimexico.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So tell us about your new book, Step Into Fear. It tells a story of your journey from an addiction to crack cocaine. I never would have guessed that, Ben, in a million years. You are the most nicest guy, the well-mannered guy, always have a smile on your face. And we don't think of that, and a very bright guy, brilliant guy. We never think of that kind of guy as a crack cocaine addict, guy who went through personal collapse. And now you've built your life. So you give people hope who have problems, or maybe their kids have problems, that it's possible to turn it around. Tell us what happened to you exactly.
Yeah, well, that was the intent of the book, was to tell my story. I get told all the time, especially in the work that I do when it comes to illegal immigration, the cartels, or going across the streets of America with Antifa and BLM and all the terrorists that are running our streets and cities now. And I get told all the time that I'm fearless. And for a long time, I'd correct people. And I felt the calling on my heart to write this book, tie it back to 10 years ago. Actually 10 years, this October will be the day that God turned my life around from crack addiction and set me back on his path and his purpose for my life. And for that purpose, to give people hope if they're feeling hopeless. There was a time in my life where I only saw the options of prison or death, and God turned my life around to live a purpose-filled, courageous life where it's not an absence of fear, it's the willingness to step into that fear that has got me to where I am today, and only through God's hand and only through his help. And many people, my wife being the preeminent one that have kind of been there, stood with me, and walked through it with me. My wife, we just celebrated our 21st year of marriage, and she was with me through it all. She didn't know I was living a double life. And it's one of those things, if you haven't gone through addiction, it can kind of sneak up on you. I have somewhat of an addictive personality. It can be a good thing or a bad thing. I can be hyper-focused on really good things like I am with Real America's Voice. Or if you let the devil in and starts putting some seeds in there, it can go in the wrong direction. And because of several issues that I talk about in the book, some personal tragedies in my life, some personal health issues in my life, I ended up finding myself self-medicating, which led me ultimately to crack cocaine. And all of a sudden, I was on a path that I didn't even recognize. I was living a double life, going by the name of Nick. People didn't know it. The people around me knew I was different, but they didn't know why. And it wasn't till the night I came clean to my wife, again, 10 years ago in October. I told her what I was going through, was honest with her. I felt the Lord say, I'd been praying for months that he would break the chains, but that she wouldn't find out. And I heard him say, you kept praying she wouldn't know when she was the only one that needed to. Your chains are broke, you're set free. And there's a verse in Peter, it says, husbands, honor your wives lest your prayers be hindered. I lived that, I experienced that, and I've been set free because of that, because of God's commitment to us, my covenant with him and my covenant with my wife. And now I've been able to live this incredible life that God has called me to. So that's the purpose of the book. It's a journey through that, starting in the jungles of Panama. And the coolest part, Wayne, you'll love this, is almost every chapter has QR codes in it. So you can scan the QR code and watch the videos that are associated with it of my journey along the way. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Ben, what's your wife's first name?
I lost your audio there, Wayne.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I got you now. Yes, sir.
Okay. What's your wife's name? I don't know your wife's name.
Villy.
Villy is a saint.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's incredible.
She's a saint. Obviously, when a guy has my kind of energy and my kind of personality, I'm an addictive personality too. And I've just been blessed by God. The only reason I didn't become an addict is because I've never, ever touched drugs or alcohol. I think the first time I touched them, I'd become an addict. So I don't even drink a glass of wine with dinner. I've never had a drink in my life. I've never done a drug in my life. Never smoked a cigarette in my life. Never vaped in my life. I just stay away from all of it. I've led kind of a monk-like life, and I'm very much happier and better for it. So thank God I never touched that stuff, because I would probably go the same way as you. So I just don't go near it. God kept me away from it. Thank God.
That's smart. That's the best.
You made a great comeback. Not too many people do that. I mean, well, none of them do it and become a TV anchorman or a TV journalist. I mean, you're it. You're it. You're the only one. So did you have kids when that happened, or your kids weren't born yet?
Yeah, this is, again, it's all part of the story in the book. And you can pre-order it now. It goes, publishes September 8th, but you can pre-order it now. In fact,
where? At Amazon? Where do you get it?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble. If you just type in Step Into Fear. And one lucky Rav audience member, team member, family member, I'll actually be hand delivering a signed copy. So if you pre-order it now, you can send that. You have to send proof of purchase to books@americasvoice.news, and you'll be entered into possibly getting a hand signed copy from me to you. But we had a 6-year-old, our oldest daughter, Chloe, who's actually turning 16 this year. We had one on the way. My wife was pregnant with our second daughter, Olivia, who's 9 now, and no thought of our third daughter that we have now. And so it was in that, it's crazy to the outside world. Like I said, they knew something was off. My wife knew something was off, but this was a 3-year ordeal that started off kind of small and eventually led to where I was, I was living a double life, and nobody knew. They just knew something was wrong. And so there's a lot of people out there that I found along the journey that are not necessarily with drugs, but similar things where they've just lost track of who they are and who God made them to be. And it's real easy. The devil can slip in and start planting those seeds. And all of a sudden you realize you're in a place, or you're living a life, or you're the person that you really don't recognize anymore. And that was my lived experience. I lived it firsthand. And now I can, one of those things, and God bless you and God bless President Trump for not doing that, not going down that road. But I would never recommend it to anyone else. But I can say, having lived it, there are certain things that I can do, and certain places that I can go, and I can understand where people are at.
Right.
And that's part of my journey, is also to encourage people that are there that it isn't hopeless, that God has a plan for your life, that the devil is a liar, and we were all created for a purpose. And my life is that experience and that example, that no matter how hopeless you are, God has a plan for you, as long as you're willing to accept it. And that's one of those things. No one else can do it. No one else can choose it. No one else can fix it. You have to do that. So government coming in, and like a state like here in California that says everyone deserves needles and keep giving them all drugs, that's the exact opposite of what you need.
Right.
Excuse me, I got something through my mouth. What you need is people to say, you can't do that anymore, and we're going to disown you if you do. You need that hard love.
Tough love.
Tough love. Where people come and say, we're done with you if you keep going down that road. But if you choose to turn your life around, we'll be there with you. And so I'm living proof that it can be done. And throughout the entire book and it's not just that, it's example after example after example where God uses those fears in our life, whether it's going into a shootout in the jungle, or going into the streets of Antifa, or confronting a politician on the streets of America. God, the most important parts of my life were at its foundation a significant amount of fear. And the difference between whether I was a failure or a success was what I did with that fear. And so that's the intent, is to really create that inspiration in people, that fear is not a bad thing. Fear is that catalyst that makes you different, that will accelerate your life, or it will crush you if you let it.
Did you go to rehab? How did you get out of this, by the way?
No, I was literally set free that night. I did go to rehab just to make my wife feel happy. I went to an outpatient treatment, but my chains were broken in an instant. God broke my chains that night when I was sitting on the bed talking to my wife. I went to an outpatient treatment program in Fresno for one day. I told them what had happened. I had this incredible doctor there. I explained the situation to her. I explained kind of my addiction. And she told me about something I'd never heard of called process addiction, where I was addicted to the high of the risk of getting away with it. And as soon as we walked through it, talked through it, and it was like, as soon as you break that chain and you no longer allow those thoughts in from the devil, it has no power over you. And so literally I was set free that night, and I've never touched a drug since, or alcohol. Set free from, it was alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, chewing tobacco. I mean, everything was done in an instant. It was truly miraculous.
Certain things come to mind, may not be in the script we're going to talk about today, but when you tell me the story and you say you can go places because of your background that other people can't go or wouldn't understand, it immediately strikes me that you would know an addict much more than the person who's never been addicted. So my question to you is, when you're always out there with illegal aliens and you're out there with the cartel bringing illegals into America, what percentage of illegals do you feel like they're not clean, they're addicted? As they come into America, they're already addicts. What kind of percentages? Any guess by you?
Well, I wouldn't put a number on the addict side. I actually see it more on the U.S. side. What I see coming in through the borders are the criminal elements of it. It's, you have the addicted side, but it's really the what you sense in the spiritual realm of the people that are coming up that are cartel members versus evil. That's really the sense that I get. Haven't been in some.
But don't you think a lot of the criminals are addicted? Don't you think they're drug addicts and that's why they're criminals?
Yeah. Some of them are, but that's really the addiction side is really more on the U.S. side. You have more. They're addicted to the killing and to the selling and to the manipulation of our system and the raping. And so, when you come to that, I'd say 25% of the people I come in contact are in that realm, coming through the border, that are addicted to evil and that are bringing that evil into our country. But I also see it when I'm out on the streets and I'm confronting Antifa and these, the demonic forces in Berkeley or San Francisco or Portland or Minneapolis. And what's crazy is there's much more spiritual darkness and much more addiction in the United States than what's coming up. Now we have to stop what's coming up because that's feeding into it. But it's all over our country. But there's no doubt about it. Having gone through that, you sense that spiritual darkness immediately. And you're also able to combat it when you sense it versus just kind of getting sucked into it or being oblivious to it.
So what you're kind of saying, if I'm reading this right, is as bad as many of these illegals are and the evil that surrounds them when they're coming into the country, there's actually more darkness and evil around a bunch of white liberal Democrats when you're 100%. Around Antifa, right? I mean, they're all evil.
100%. 100%. I've been in shootouts, literal shootouts, with the Gulf Cartel in the Panamanian jungle, and I felt more concerned. I feel more concerned when I walk into the inner cities of America than I did there.
Yep. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand myself, by the way. These white liberals are like the worst people in the entire world. They're just captured by the devil. There's no question. They believe in things that are so weird. Their whole life's about transgenders and defending illegal alien murderers. It's bizarre. Bizarro. And loving men and women's sports. The WNBA defends letting men into women's sports. These people are crazy. They're absolutely possessed by the devil. All right, I know you got to go. I know you're on the run. Let's make sure everyone knows Ben Bergquam's new book is called Step Into Fear, A Journey from Addiction to Courage and Purpose. A good book to get right now for your kids. A good book to get for anyone in your life who might be in darkness. A good book to get for kids who are in light and you don't want them to ever get in darkness. And probably a good book to buy now and give out as a Christmas present to people in your life like your kids. So good time to jump ahead and buy some Christmas gifts. Christmas is right around the corner. You ask my wife, Cindy. She just bought a lot of Christmas stuff. She goes to that QVC or Home Shopping Christmas in July. She loves it. She loves it. She thinks Christmas is right around the corner. Ben Bergquam, the book, Step Into Fear. We appreciate you and your journey and everything you've done. Thank you, Ben.
Hey, God bless you, brother. We'll see you soon.
God bless you. Good man. All right, we'll be right back for the last segment of the show. I'm Wayne Allyn. This is War Zone Live. I always have to think for a second. I have so many shows. Which one is it? War Zone Live. It's not America Speaks. It's not America's Top 10 Countdown. War Zone Live. The phone number for America Speaks, by the way, because this is not a call-in show, but an hour from now is a call-in show at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-ROOT. You can leave messages 24 hours a day, voicemails, and I play them on the air and respond to them. Or you could call in live from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock tonight, East Coast time, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock West Coast time. Call me at 800-347-ROOT. We will be right back. All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn Pariser's with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans, here in America, for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. GreatPatriotStore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, we're here for the home stretch. This is the last segment of the show. I'm going to go right through the last segment. Tangible Investments is a sponsor of this segment of the show. How important is its own gold? China's central bank just increased their gold reserves for the 20th consecutive month. And by the way, I've been reading this for about 3 weeks. So I think it's going to be the 21st consecutive month. I'd be willing to bet you on that because gold is going way up now, way up again. I think when I first started reading this, gold was at 39 and change, just below 4,000. Now it's just below 4,500. Gold is flying against in one of those great, great runs. And I think I saw today, I mean, I know I saw it, but I think it was Goldman Sachs they were saying is now projecting gold is on a run. And it's only going up from here. And of course, I don't care what Goldman Sachs says because they're usually wrong. I care about Kip Herridge, who's always right. My investment advisor, Kip Herridge, VRAinsider.com, sponsor of this show. And Kip says gold is going to 10,000 and then 15,000. And right now it's at 44 and change, almost 45. So it's really a good time to own gold because it's down from its high of about 5,700. And you're getting in at a decent level. And I think it's going to go right back into the fives and eventually into the sixes and the sevens and the eights and the nines and the tens. So now is the time to buy gold. Tangible Investment has been in business for more than 40 years. They've handled more than $2 billion in transactions, and their team brings over 200 combined years of experience. And they offer gold. Here's the important part. They offer gold at 1% over spot price, unheard of. Silver at 3% over spot price, unheard of. It's the biggest question in all of buying gold and silver. What are you charging me over spot price? No one knows that question, and only Tangible has the right answer. 1% over spot and 3% over spot. Good luck finding anyone else who can do that. If you can, ask them to match it. If they can, fine, do it. But you won't. So Tangible's the way to go. If you want gold, silver, precious metals, or rare coins from a credible company with honest prices, call Tangible right now, toll free, 888-330-4351, 888-330-4351. So I'm often guilty of saying the same thing again and again and again. I mean that in a positive way because I'm proud to be guilty of this crime, which is I see the best of Trump. You know, I see the glass half full, not half empty. And I always say he accomplishes more in a week than the average president has accomplished in 8 years, including my hero Reagan. So just today, I have 3 reports here, or maybe it's 4 of them, I don't know. First of all, the Trump bump. Tax refunds jumped 17% after Trump's big, beautiful bill, his signature law, which 2/3 of it is due to me. No tax on overtime and no tax on Social Security. And that increase represented $43 billion more in refunds than the IRS issued during the 2025 filing season for the tax year 2024. So we were issued this year $296 billion in refunds, 17% increase. That represents $43 billion more in refunds than last year. The average refund also increased by 11% compared to the previous year, and that's because of Wayne's ideas. No tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and you're complaining about Trump, and then promises kept drug prices, prescription drug prices, plummet, recording the sharpest drop since 1963 and the largest 6-month decline in history, all because of Trump RX. Trump got all these drug companies to buy in. Now, the only negative is, and I hope President Trump isn't watching because he won't like what I'm about to say. In order to get the prices down, he said, you guys are my friends, and if you do this for me, I'll back you. And then, of course, he allows the vaccine to continue, the COVID vaccine. People go, Wayne, why is he allowing the COVID vaccine to continue when the COVID vaccine is killing people? And the answer is because the drug companies lowered prices by billions of dollars, and he cut a deal with them. And in return, he's got to be nice to them. That's what I think. That's my gut. I'm always honest. I'm honest about everything. I love Trump, and I think he's great. But I don't agree with the COVID vaccine. And my guess is once you get a deal, you beg them for a deal, they give you a deal, they lower prices dramatically for consumers, and then you're stuck, kissing their ass 24 hours a day. Just a fact of life. Also, the DOJ opens a new pathway to restore federal gun rights for certain barred individuals. I love it when you give gun rights to people. Let's see. Attorney General Todd Blanche on Wednesday launched a new process to allow certain people who are barred from possessing firearms to apply for restoration of their federal firearms rights. Applicants must establish the circumstances of their prohibition, as well as show they are not likely to pose a danger to the public. This rule establishes a rigorous common sense process that protects the public while giving deserving Americans a real path to restoration. They look at the applicant's record, reputation, subsequent conduct, all taken into consideration. Absent extraordinary circumstances, violent felons, registered sex offenders, illegal aliens, and other individuals who present an ongoing danger will not be eligible for this relief. Any relief granted under this rule removes only applicable federal firearms disabilities and does not override independent restrictions imposed by state law. All right, so I'm with you. As long as it's not sex offenders and it's not murderers and it's not rapists and it's not violent felons and it's not registered sex offenders and it's not illegal aliens, I think anybody else who's ever been convicted of something has a right to get their guns back. So good job, President Trump. And now let's talk about the alternative. Almost 60% of Democrats have a favorable view of socialism. New CBS poll shows how popular it is. 58% of Democrats hold a positive view of socialism, 26 points more than the 32% with a positive view of capitalism. Can you believe this is even possible? Capitalism is what made us the greatest nation in the history of the world, times like 10 million. Nobody else even close. We came from England, and England is now 5 trillion miles away from us. We are the greatest nation by miles. There's nobody else near us. We are the greatest in every way. There are so many millionaires in this country. I believe 20% of Americans are millionaires. Do you know what a number that is? People are just very successful and prosperous in this country, even if they started with nothing like me. And you don't find that in any other country in the world. And more people have been lifted out of poverty than any other country in the world. And people are choosing socialism on the Democrat side. They want it. Socialism destroys everyone's life, and you want it? Here's another example of what's on the other side. Democrat committee urges Congress to defund ICE and free illegal immigrants. A panel of the Democrat National Committee voted on Saturday. So this is not some fringe group. This is not even the DSA, which is now taking over the Democrat Party, Democrat Socialists of America. It's not even them. This is literally the Democrat Party. This is the Democrat Party itself. There's a panel of the Democrat National Committee voted to get rid of ICE and to end the detention of migrants. They voted 27-12. Oh, my God. The committee's resolution 27 urges Democrat members of Congress to craft legislation abolishing ICE and enacting immigration reform that provides pathways to citizenship for illegal migrants, protects illegal workers, ensures dignity for all impacted people. This is sick stuff. And it's so funny they call me far right. What are you talking about? I'm right in the middle. You guys are extreme left falling off the earth. But I like the title far right because so far I've been right about everything. And it's the same everywhere in the world, by the way. It's not just America. There's this city, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's in Spain. It's called, it looks like it's pronounced Ceuta or Quita. I don't know. However it's pronounced, illegal migrants stormed this city. And the scenes from this city are stunning. There used to be beautiful, clean tourist beaches and tourist hotels, and now it's thousands of illegal migrants crapping on the sand and peeing on the sand and throwing up on the sand and doing drugs on the sand and throwing their garbage on the sand. If they have kids, they throw the diapers on the sand. And the beach is a polluted, disgusting, revolting mess. And nobody will ever go there again. There will be no tourists. And now they all demand asylum benefits. That's why they're here. They're not coming to better their lives. They're a bunch of lazy scumbags, and they're here to get your money. Welfare, housing allowance, food stamps, aid to dependent children, free health care, free school for their kids. They will bankrupt us and Spain and every other Western civilization. They're here to steal our money. That's why they are here. And then I mentioned this last week, but it happened kind of at the end of the week. So to be honest, I didn't. I don't think on this podcast I really presented it as a big story. But it was truly a huge story. Cam Higbee and James O'Keefe are undercover journalists on our side, and they went undercover as fake Muslim women. These two men dressed as fake Muslim women, and they were allowed. They found out they're allowed to vote in other people's names and vouch for 8 foreigners, including Hamas militants from Gaza. I mean, this is truly insane that this is allowed in the United States of America. Insane. In Minnesota, you can vote. Even if you say, my relative's a Hamas militant, can they vote? The person says, yeah, sure, no problem. And you wonder why we're losing close elections in Minnesota, right? I mean, it's not like we're losing by a landslide. It's close all the time. Our Senate candidates, our governor candidates, they're losing because it's all fraud. Anybody can vote. You can bring in 8 other people and vouch for them. And he went and told them the 8 other people are Hamas militants from Gaza. And they said, no problem. And then now there's Democrats looking to go after them, not the 8 Muslim migrants from Hamas, from Gaza. No, they're looking to go after James O'Keefe and this guy, Cam Higbee. Because, they think somehow by dressing as Muslim women, and trying to find fraud, they actually committed fraud. He said, this is James O'Keefe. Yesterday I went to Minneapolis polls disguised as a Muslim woman. Poll workers were going to let me vote in other people's names and then vouch for 8 other unregistered foreigners. When he asked them, do they need ID for the 8 other people, I said, no, you're the ID. So if the registered voter serves identification for 8 others, they can all vote. You can vouch for them. They are not registered. That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, says the guy. If you're all in the same precinct and you are already registered, you can vouch for them as ID. 8 people. Just amazing. Yesterday, I walked into a polling location in Minnesota with 2 Muslim men, told the poll workers they were Hamas militants from the Gaza Strip. The poll workers are ready to get them registered to vote as long as I vouch for them. You can't believe what's happening in the United States of America. And you wonder why I can't stand Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, because they have misled the American people. Israel's not the problem. Jews aren't the problem. Muslims are the problem. We're undergoing a Muslim invasion. No Jew will ever kill you. Muslims are going to kill you. It's insanity. And let me just show you one more story. No, 2 more stories of why. No, 3 more stories of why the other side is insane. Mom and daughter, both pretty blondes, of course, because all Republicans are pretty blondes, showed up at a WNBA game, and they were wearing T-shirts that said XXXY, meaning male chromosome, female chromosome. And a security guard told them someone complained and they got to give up their seats and leave XXY. It's insanity. Here's another story, shows the other side. Socialist lawmaker claims stealing should not be illegal because some people have a biological need. And by the way, she's fat and ugly. I mean, I got to tell you, you find me a fat, ugly woman, I'll find you a Democrat every time. A socialist nut job every time. And then the last story of the day, California high school students in the Bay Area, a high school went on a field trip to a mosque, and now the parents are suing, alleging the students were encouraged to wear hijabs and given Qurans. A group representing 2 Jewish students at Palo Alto High School, 3 former Jewish students, a Hindu parent, and a Zoroastrian parent, is suing the school over claims the children were exposed to the idea that Islam was aligned with social justice. Do you understand there's only one religion? There's one religion where maybe Christians don't really like gay people. Maybe they don't really like trans people, but they would never hurt them. They never do anything to them. And there's one religion that will kill you if you don't agree with them. Islam will murder you. Murder you. And they're calling that social justice. That's the religion of social justice. That's the religion of peace. They're a bunch of murdering savages, and their whole goal is to conquer every person and every neighborhood and every country they come in contact with. And if you don't convert to their religion, they murder you or enslave you. And that's social justice. All right, as we say goodbye today, I want to mention Amio Life, the sponsor of this show. I use their alkaline structured silver solution 4 times a day. Matter of fact, I'm going to go take a swig right now. And their natural silver mouthwash to keep my breath clean, and silver gel on my face each and every night to keep me young, and silver lozenges I suck on under my tongue in every break of the show to keep my voice alive. And now you get a 30% discount on every single product they've got, because Amio believes that you should not have to fight inflation. So they're giving you 30% off every product I take and every product that they offer. Go to AmioLife.com. It's very simple. AMEO. AmioLife.com, and use the promo code ROOT30 and save 30%. AmioLife.com. ROOT30, save 30%. It's that simple, great stuff. And I'll give you that phone number again to call me in 1 hour on America Speaks at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. 800-347-ROOT. You get to talk to me live on national TV. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668, or email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I got like 1,000 emails over the weekend. You guys are great. Speak to you later. Have a great night. 800-347-ROOT. Hope to hear from you and speak to you on the air in an hour. Bye-bye. All right, I'm joined by Kip Herridge, my old buddy, an economic expert, CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. You know, I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out, when to be aggressive, and when to take some profits, take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks. And we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. 5th and 6th generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, Volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets to, we think the bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herridge, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.